will go to that. I'll make a motion at 7:26 PM that we open up the floor for public input.
Second.
Got a motion with second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, so carried. Thank you, Mark, for telling me that. I kind of scribbled all over my page, so I jumped all over the place. So now's your time for public input. Yes, sir.
I got a couple of questions. The first one is with the SUV that you're getting. Why is this company, I mean, because they have two United Ag and Turf, so why are they going through Hudson, New York instead of the one that's down in Goshen, I believe? Now, they control the grant money, you have to go through them for them to tell you what's the best price to buy something?
No. Sourcewell is a purchasing company that the governments use, and what happens is the businesses get vetted through Sourcewell to be able to sell that product. It's a state contract, and it's not only state, but Sourcewell covers, I believe, federal and county, federal, municipalities, as well as Canada, I believe. So United Ag and Turf is actually owned from a parent company out of Texas, and I believe there is 800 plus stores. So quite honestly, the price you're going to get from one, you're going to get them from the other, but Sourcewell is the one who establishes the actual price. So what happens is they turn around and they go to these companies, and let's just say for you and I, if we go in and we pay $1,000 for something, and if it's vetted and they agree to be a government vendor, then they usually have anywhere from 11, 15, 25, maybe even as much as a 30% discount because it's government. And I would imagine that that's their business plan, to sell more product as opposed to selling you and I 2 or 3 of them. They could sell the government 23 of them. So that's why it's done that way. It's through an approved vendor, and that's how you do business.
So that's what you have to do with anything that...
No. Certain things you have to. Certain things you have to, that what you have to do is you have to do your due diligence and research everything. You can still put out bids, but if you have companies that have actually contracted through a company like Sourcewell, then that's what they're doing. They're setting up and being vetted to be the people that you purchase from. You can go to those folks. It would almost be a waste of time in a situation like this to go to all of the United Ag and Markets, because they're all the same. So I will tell you, in my own personal life, my wife bought a nice John Deere tractor, and we priced them through United Ag and Markets, and I wasn't happy with the price in Chester, so I said I had no problem. Upstate, I called. It was the identical price. I ended up calling another place upstate in Fulton, and identical price. And then it hit me, these are all United tractors, and that's where I found out that they're buying them all up. So my wife actually made that purchase out of state, bought it in Pennsylvania, and saved a lot of money. And they delivered it to our door. So that's how you do business.
So that happens with the police cars and everything else?
Yes,
you gotta do the same
comes
way?
off state contract, yes. That's how we buy our dump trucks for snow plowing. I believe it's the Onondaga bid that we bought the last several trucks from. The same thing with police cars. Police cars come out of approved dealerships, and that's what you do when you're looking to buy those vehicles. That's the motivation, or not the motivation, that's the appropriate way to do it, because they've already been vetted, and they're going to give you the best price. Doesn't mean you still don't try to haggle them down, but that price is set. I want to think of something that I just looked at to get a price on, and I was pretty surprised. The UTV. The UTV from Bobcat. Well, the one from Bobcat, I know specifically. I had talked to the gentleman because I was trying to nickel and dime everything I could out of it and get that's how I found out about the winches and the dumping and everything else. I was trying to, with each one, get as much as I could. So then they said, we want to sell it to you rather than you go 100 miles up the road. I actually went to Eklund, I believe it is, up by Stamford, New York, and they sold Bobcats also, and I had previously called for them up there, and they told me on that particular model there was a 25% reduction to sell it through Sourcewell, that they weren't making a whole lot of money onto it, so good luck trying to find it cheaper. And they were the same prices wherever you went there also. They're kind of agreed upon prices. They take the market rate, they put a percentage for the deduction, and Sourcewell vets it, they approve it, and that's what they do. All right, you had another question.
Yeah, I'm just curious about this meeting that Mr. Hoppenstead attended about the lithium battery storage. What meeting was that?
I have no idea. You'd have to ask Mr. Hoppenstead.
Can I ask him?
Right ahead, please.
So the guy from the energy storage called County Legislator Roberts and asked him if he could meet. I think he was trying to get Mr. Roberts on board with the project. And
Well, excuse me, was this a just private meeting, public meeting?
it was a private meeting.
Oh, okay. And where did you guys meet?
We met at Kevin's office in Newburgh.
I see. And was it similar to, well, I don't know if you were there at the Clintondale Firehouse, was it the same format that was discussed, or what was actually discussed?
It was just one person, and he kept asking about how he could get more public involvement in it, and what our thoughts were on it, and how we felt about the project. And he did not like the way we felt about the project.
Maybe you should tell them to have another meeting, and we'll tell them the same thing. Especially when they tell you they can't put the fire out, they have to. It's got to extinguish itself.
We did tell him that if he wanted to put more community meetings out there, he's more than welcome. He's going to get the same result.
Well, maybe if they hear it enough times,
But-
it may discourage them. Because personally, I feel the public should be more involved with something like this because of, you know, the risks that are involved with this and the location where it's at. So, you know, I mean, not taking anything away from you and Kevin, it's nice that they spoke to you, but I think it still should be in a public format where the public can participate in this, because basically people are really afraid of this. They really are, because of the hazards and everything else that go along with this thing. So, I mean, that's what I would try to convey to them, is that, you know, bring it to the people. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Would you clarify that,
Well,
please?
please give your
Because-
name.
What?
Please give your name.
Coppola, Esther, Coppola. I don't understand about this meeting. You work for Kevin?
Yes, I work for Kevin
Okay.
outside of here.
All right.
And Kevin,
So you were working for Kevin. Kevin mentioned whatever. You were present.
I was in the office. Kevin kind of pulled me into his office, and
And
I knew nothing about it
who
beforehand.
else was there?
It was me, it was myself, Kevin Roberts, and the person from Mission Energy.
The person from
I
a
can't-
mission?
Yeah, from, I believe the title of it is Mission Energy. He was a representative from them.
Say that again.
He was a representative from the battery storage.
Okay, so there was, like the ones that came, that we listened to.
Yes, the ones that came here.
So it
the ones
was
that came to the
impersonal,
firehouse.
basically.
Yes.
It was nothing called, it was not a called meeting.
No,
Or anything to that degree.
no.
And what was discussed at that time?
He asked what our feelings about the project were,
Okay,
and he asked about doing community outreach, and we told him he's more than welcome to do community outreach. That's going to be his best
so
route.
he was looking for your advice and your input.
Yes.
Very interesting.
I don't think he liked the
Did
response. he
Kevin
got.
call this meeting?
That I do not know.
You don't know? Okay. Or he could have just dropped in and talked to Kevin.
Right. I just happened to be in my office across from Kevin's, and Kevin yelled to me, and
Gotcha.
I
Thank you.
walked into it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? Going once, going twice. Okay, I'll make a motion that we go out of public input at 7:36 PM.
Second.
Okay, we had a motion on the floor with a second to go out at 7:36 PM, back to our regular meeting. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So carried.